What is up, everybody? It is part 1 of the Go Home edition of MFW Warzone on the road to infinity, and children say it with me, and beyond. Really can't help myself. I know it's probably getting annoying by now, but we are here in Lafayette, Louisiana. We're gonna come over with a scramble meal, and I'm so sorry to everyone in Louisiana for that terrible Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Leatherhead-esque accent. But like just earlier, I also can't help myself when it comes to these things. But let's get a little more serious as we move into the Undisputed Women's Tag Team Championship division. Obviously, we saw on a recent edition of Warzone the Birds of Prey, Batgirl and Black Canary, fending off in a very close contest Wonder Woman and She-Hulk, this power team that came together from across both the DC and Marvel universes, and nearly put away the champions, but came up just short. However, one half of that team, She-Hulk, thinks she's found a partner, one that she's worked with before, been part of their team in the past, and thinks she finally has the number of the tag team champions. Who could that person be? Well, as She-Hulk makes her way to the ring, those of you who do know the history of this character know that She-Hulk has been a part of quite a few teams, including the Avengers, including the Hulkbusters. However, one of the teams you might not think of is the Fantastic Four. That's exactly what you're thinking. The First Lady of the Marvel's first family, Susan Storm, the Invisible Woman, will be teaming with She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters, here tonight to take on Batgirl and Black Canary, the Birds of Prey. Looking to change their fortunes, obviously have been impressive in singles competition, but haven't really found their groove. Perhaps by joining forces, could be potentially able to topple the Undisputed Women's Tag Team Champions, something that only one other team thus far has been able to do at least once, and by doing so, put themselves in a position to potentially challenge for those titles in the future. I'm your host, your commentator, MC, announcer, all-around nice guy, friendly neighborhood, Roman Empire, and it is good to have you back with us yet again for, can you believe it, episode 42 of MFW, going strong, continuing to forge a path for all you nerds looking for a little comic book combat action. As we get ready to kick things off here, Billy Bowtie in the ring, ringing that bell, and Batgirl coming out of the gate quick, on fire. Tilt-a-whirl head scissors there. Not gonna take things easy. Obviously, these two faced She-Hulk alongside Wonder Woman recently, as we mentioned, therefore they're very familiar, and it's very fresh memory exactly what they went through dealing with that team. Obviously, Batgirl and Black Canary not going to take things easy going against one half of that unit. Particularly in a situation now where, big tackle out of nowhere. Especially in a situation where now she does have a partner she's used to working with. Wonder Woman, obviously a very improvised tag team of sorts, not used to working together from two different sets of multiverses. Sliding complete shot there. Batgirl trying to take control, taking her into her team's corner. As we were saying, though, a more ramshackle team, if you will, ragtag group, versus this unit, which has worked together before, knows each other well enough that they can have some tag team chemistry right off the bat. Be interesting to see if they can pull off a victory. Will they become an official tag team? Will they forge ahead in the tag team division, or will they remain chasing the multiversal women's championship? It is sweltering here. It's the hot of the bone, skinny opinion. None of that was English. Don't worry about it. If you're trying to translate what I said in that accent, I was just making gibberish because my brain is fried. This heat, it's like eggs on a pan. Ugh. Yes. But if you want to talk about heat, what about the hot action in the middle of this ring on fire? I'm not talking about the ladies. Don't make it derogatory here. I can see it in the comments already. It'll be the front page of Reddit. Roman Empire objectifies digital fantasy ladies. It's talking about this action. Oh, big clothesline from Susan Storm. Having been tagged into this match, and now the freshest of the four, perhaps. Looking to take advantage of that fact. The two blondes of these teams going at it at the moment. Oh! Big crossbody out of the corner from Black Canary. Now with a camel clutch, working the lower back and the spine of Susan Storm. Obviously the powerhouse of the group, She-Hulk. Susan Storm, a more technical professional wrestler. Although granted, technically none of these people are professional wrestlers until they've joined MFW. This is all very new to them, this style of competition, but all experienced in various forms of combat. Oh, big knee to the face! Using those ropes like a backboard, snapping that head back. 1, 2, only a 2 count. A bit of viciousness we're seeing here from Susan Storm. Hurricane Rana. Oh, no. Sunset Flip Powerbomb. Why'd I mention the lack of experience with this particular style of competition? Well, we've seen it come into play before. Issues with disqualifications, countouts, cheating even. Not being aware of one's place in the ring and how that affects their ability to execute certain maneuvers, the ability for an opposing team to take advantage of your positioning. Things like that, that those who have wrestled for a great deal of time are more aware of just inherently. This Stampede here, something that Fantastic Four utilizes similar to the Teen Titans. And though it is not normally one of She-Hulk's arsenal moves, being a singles competitor, obviously very easy to adapt to. Oh, arm breaker. Also a member of the Avengers faction, along with Captain Marvel, Iron Man, Ant-Man, and Thor, here on Warzone. However, like I said, could change bird's eye view. Could that be the finish? Batgirl into the pin, broken up immediately by Susan Storm. Oh, went for an enziguri. Susan Storm stepped out of it, and then Luthez pressed into a mounted punch combination on Black Canary. Batgirl breaking it up with a boot to the face. As we were saying, though, could change. Obviously, if She-Hulk and Susan Storm pick up a win here, that might change her path. She might think about teaming with Susan Storm rather than isolating herself to the Avengers supergroup, as it were. Obviously, both women, herself and Captain Marvel, interested in the Multiversal Women's Championship, but a win here could change that. Granted, with the role that the Birds of Prey have been on, it's hard to imagine almost anyone knocking them off. Teen Titans only did it once, and then when they finally got a rematch to do so, failing to pick up a second victory. Essentially, though, they are tied. Oh, wait, borrowing a move from Black Panther! Wakanda Kinshasa across the face. Borrowing some moves from a fellow Avenger there. And now a Yosuka cutter off the shoulder. Batgirl fighting out of it, though. Doing her best to fend off this absolute behemoth, this powerhouse that is She-Hulk. We've mentioned before, keeping She-Hulk and Bruce Banner on separate shows for safety's sake. One Hulk per show. We might change that rule eventually, who knows? But as of right now, we think it's safest not to put two Hulks of any kind on the same brand. With good reason. Batgirl here fighting to put down this... Oh! Big green monster. Oh, wait a minute. Could this be setting up? Looked like she tried to reverse it, but pulling her back into the Gamma Bomb! Oh, man, I think the back of her head snapped off the top rope on the way down. Batgirl's not moving. Referee into the pin. 1, 2, 3, and a sudden victory for the impromptu Fantastic Four reunion of She-Hulk and Susan Storm. Congratulations, Jennifer Walters, Susan Storm. Big win. What this means for them moving forward, we'll have to find out in the future. But as we move on, supposed to have a singles match here. It's these two. Still champs, whether or not they lost. Okay. I believe, I'm going to turn on my my special glasses here. I think that is Invisible Woman. I have special filters on my glasses, that's why I can see this. Invisible Woman taunting those two on the ramp, perhaps calling them out for an Undisputed Women's Tag Team title match. That's my story and I'm sticking with it. Don't question me. As we move in, we're supposed to have Thor versus Doomsday. He's supposed to help put down this rampant Doomsday. He's been released from containment. He believes it's his job to fend off Doomsday, whether or not that's literal or... Wait a minute. Dr. Doom has just dragged out an unconscious Doomsday. Are you kidding me? The man the monster we were concerned about tearing apart this entire brand, he just dragged him out unconscious. I mean, he is the multiversal champion. There's a reason he's on top of the mountain right now, but good lord, now brawling with Thor. I mean, I don't know if this is an official match. We rang the bell, but Dr. Doom is not supposed to be in this matchup with... Jimmy! What the hell? What? Alright, we're putting that plan into play. We're doing the new... Yeah, we're getting a director of Warzone. We're doing it, okay? Because this is getting crazy. Okay, we need some sort of law and order here. Alright, this is unacceptable. First somebody lets him out of containment. Next thing you know, he's completely unconscious. And we're just hanging him out on the... Do we even... Is anybody... The ref... Billy Bowtie's down. Okay? Billy Bowtie is down. Does anybody care? Is it just me? I'm sorry about that, folks. I apologize. I'm trying to maintain professionalism, but this is they call it it rhymes with a muster duck. And it looks like we're calling this one off. This is not an official match. Ref was down anyway. Thor standing tall, but we move on. Just please, for Christ's sake, move on. What do we got next? That's right, more women's action. That's right, we had the multiversal women's champion recently suffered a defeat at the hands of the Queen of Atlantis, Mira. Now, it has been decided by the current powers that be that will probably be fired and replaced with a director of Warzone. It has been decided Jean Grey, accompanied to the ring here by Beast and Iceman, will take on Mira once more with Aquaman in her corner as usual. If Mira picks up another win, she will be granted #1 contendership to face Jean Grey at Infinity for the Multiversal Women's Championship. Cutting the line, obviously, Captain Marvel unable to defeat Jean Grey since losing the title. However, won in 6-man tag action, albeit not directly over the champion. That said, Mira has an opportunity here, get herself at the top of the title picture at the pay-per-view. We'll get to part 2 where we'll worry about how we're going to decide who ends up being director of Warzone. Fight Night is relatively more controlled than this, so hopefully if we implement that, that'll fix things up. And you're wondering, why isn't Cyclops with Jean Grey? Well, we've decided in this very brief interval that we've had this plan in place, as I mentioned when I was giving the business to somebody over there. That sounded weird. You know what I meant. Giving an earful. Throwing the book at. Poor old Jimmy over there. We decided that we were going to put representatives from various factions into one of the qualifying matches for that director position. But we'll get into that in part 2. Right now, let's worry about this match between these two, well, similarly clad Emerald Redheads here. Into a headlock from Jean Grey, starting off with a bit of chain wrestling feeling out her opponent, and right into a Luthez is Mira, absolutely pummeling Phoenix. Not looking to get into the technical wrestling aspect, looking to just beat down and send a message to the champion. kicking into that spine. Repeated kicks. Perhaps targeting it. Obviously, we know one of her specialties is that trident, her own version of her husband's maneuver. As now returning the favor a little bit is Jean Grey with those kicks. Hard Irish whip into an arm drag. Beast and Iceman looking quite pleased with that. Not so much with that. Almost in sync with that that look of embarrassment from both men. Big crucifix. Every time Mira gets a little bit of offense and the champ finds a way to turn things around for at least a moment. But on the flip side, every time it seems like the champ is fighting back into this, the contender has an answer for it herself, turns it around. Seen this before, a little bit of limb manipulation. Oh! Did I say manipulation? I don't know what I just said there. I'm a Freudian slip. I think I said manipulation, but we'll worry about that whenever I have my therapy session. I'm a mess right now. You have no idea how sweaty. And I don't sweat much. So that's saying something. I'm glowing right now. I got a layer of it, but it's not dripping, so at least it's not nasty or anything. What am I talking about? I'm so sorry. Alright, we get back to the action here. Big crossbody in the corner, and right out of it, handspringing to her feet and an elevated flatliner. So quick to recover is the champ. That's why she has the title around her waist right now. Only a 1 count, though. Resilient potential challenger waiting in the wings. Could she be thinking about the Phoenix Splash going up top here? There it is. Lands it right across the stomach. Perfect placement of that Phoenix Splash. 1, 2. Oh, 2.5. So close. A 2.5 count there. Almost putting away her potential challenger, but Mira fighting back. Dragging Jean Grey over to the ropes, and now bouncing her off that ricochet style maneuver. Slingshot, if you will. Irish whip, popping her up, letting her land face first. Looks like her legs caught the bottom rope on the way down. Might have lessened her impact a little bit. Now head scissors and elbow to the skull. Could we be seeing it? Yes, setting up for the trident. There it is, folding her right into a pin. Oh, Beast immediately grabbing Billy Bowtie. It looked like he was stretched out over the apron there. You could hurt the referee's ribs there. Arguing with Billy Bowtie, and no surprise there. I mean, that was unnecessary conduct on Hank McCoy's behalf. Part of the nature of this faction warfare that takes place on both these brands. Win by any means necessary. That is what many, both heroes and villains, are used to. The concept of rules and rule breaking and all that. Not really a high priority versus victory and defeat for many of these groups, or individuals even. There's a gray area with these heroes and villains. But it looked like she had a beat there with that trident. Oh! What a move! It looked like might have been a power slam, but her head was on the lower back. It looked more like... Oh! Half Fisherman Suplex. It's Aquaman's finishing move. Half Fisherman Suplex after that incredible counter. That sort of twisting torture rack Olympic slam. I don't know what to call it. And 1, 2, 3. Mira's picked up the win, and she has been granted a shot at the Multiversal Women's Championship, and she absolutely deserves it after that performance. Hitting the trident, getting the pin, Hank McCoy pulling the referee out of the ring, only to then reverse that aerial maneuver with that I don't even know what to call it. It's a weird inverted angle slam type maneuver. Face first, planting her opponent, and then hitting her with the half fisherman suplex, the trademark finisher of her husband Aquaman. Very, very impressive from Queen Mira here. Look forward to seeing that match. There is that dragon. Good lord. I don't know what happened to his hips there. He turned to liquid. But as we look forward, I look forward to that match to see what happens when these two meet and the title is on the line. Obviously, we've seen how putting the championship on the line can really change the stakes and change the approach of these defending champions when their back is up against the wall. As we move on to the last match of part 1. Killing two birds with one stone, Gorilla Grodd was unable to rein in Bizarro and his reign of terror as he focuses in his obsessive war with Superboy. So, Legion of Doom's other opportunity would be to get rid of Superboy instead, take that obsession, that object of obsession, out of Bizarro's sight, and end that problem before it goes any further. That being said, we still have some spots open for that Retcon-in-the-Bank briefcase ladder match. So, Superboy will attempt to win one of those spots right here, right now in singles competition against Gorilla Grodd. Gorilla Grodd looking to redeem himself for failing to bring in Bizarro, but also a chance for him to pursue his individual ambitions of potentially reaching for that multiversal championship by any means necessary. So no surprise he would jump at the chance here. So this will be a qualifying match for the Retcon-in-the-Bank briefcase. Remember, if you're enjoying what you're seeing, hit that thumbs up, give us a like, comment, let us know what you think, let us know what you want to see in the future, all that good stuff. And remember to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single episode of MFW, Warzone, or Fight Night, or any of our pay-per-views. And thank you very much once again for joining us each and every time. It means the world to me, warms my heart as we get ready for this singles match. Gotta think Bizarro is somewhere just burning a hole in the image of Connor Kent, very fixated on this young Superman clone. After a single defeat, all it took was one, and ever since then, Bizarro has been absolutely laser guided on trying to obliterate any presence of Superboy here on Warzone. Superboy obviously though has his own ambitions, has his own goals, wants to move past this whole Bizarro issue, and this is a perfect opportunity to do that. If he can get his hands on an opportunity for that briefcase and then eventually get his hands on the briefcase itself, can launch his career and put him into that multiversal championship picture right at the top of the card. Gorilla Grodd now laying in those elbows across the face. A tyrant who for a brief time even ruled Gorilla City. Enemy of the Flash. Prominent member of the Legion of Doom. Also has been members of various factions like the Secret Society of Supervillains, and the Injustice League, Injustice Society. Pin made here. Already a 2 count. He's inflicted quite a bit of damage. Superboy hasn't really gotten any offense out of the gate since the start of this match. Big knee to the side of the head. It's been absolutely brutal. Oh, up he goes. We've seen this before. That gorilla press. Dropping him into a deadlift gut wrench suplex. He has been giving no chance for Superboy to even catch his breath. As soon as he gets him on the ground, he continues the assault, and already going up. Could see the 5-star gorilla splash. Shades of Superfly. 1, 2, 3, and a dominant victory for Gorilla Grodd. Just decimated Superboy. Gotta wonder if perhaps he was distracted by the idea that Bizarro could be just looming around the corner, but either way, unfortunate and disappointing for Superboy. But Gorilla Grodd oh, good. Knew it was gonna happen, folks. Knew he couldn't stay away for long. Bizarro is on the stage right now, provoking an already irate and annoyed Connor Kent. Can we get some security out here, please? Because clearly this isn't going to end well. I mean, you realize that, right? Why is there nobody out there right now? What is taking so long? Jesus. Trading blows here. Finally, Billy Bowtie seems to have done his job and someone else's and gotten some security here as we're going to go off the air this way. Remember, be good to each other, unlike these two, and be good to yourselves. We will see you next time on MFW.